Confused about what career to choose? Not quite sure if the range of study and work options compatible with your personality, aptitude and interests? Welcome to Career Cafe for a ringside view of an exciting career each week. Together, we shall explore the pros and cons, the ins and outs, the programs and prospects, all the stuff you need to make an informed and successful career choice. Hi, I'm your host and career guide Parveen Malhotra, and on the menu today, we are looking at careers in real estate. Did you know that over a third of the world's wealth is tied up in real estate? Currently, the fourth largest sector in terms of FDI inflows, India's real estate market is expected to increase sevenfold by 2028, contributing 13% to our GDP. On the back of increasing industrial activity, infrastructural development, increasing urbanization and income levels. Moreover, the government has just recently announced plans to provide 50 lakh new jobs by investing rupees 6 lakh crores, that's right, in big ticket projects over the next 5 years. Jobs in this sector are not only varied and challenging, but also contribute to the development of our society in a very direct way, besides shaping how we shall all live in the years to come. And to tell us all about the opportunities in this sector, we have with us Dr. SunilAgarwal, Associate Dean and Director, School of Real Estate, RICS, School of Built Environment. A civil engineer, MBA, and town and urban planner from CEPT Ahmedabad, Sunil wears many hats. Vice President, ICICI Ventures, and co-founder of a $400 million FDI PE fund and real estate development company, to name a few. Welcome to Career Cafe.
Thank you.
Sunil, what a pleasure. So tell us, huge sector. You've just heard the number of jobs. Why is it that young people are not aware of the various opportunities that exist here?
I think real estate, even when I got into it or fell into it, my father-in-law had a heart attack and said, "You are a qualified engineer, what are you doing in real estate?" And this was in the year 1995, and international property consulting firms came in, and the only really option to work in real estate was with developers.
Yes.
And that was not supposed to be a career of choice. Fast forward to 2000, I think a lot of institutes did not realize that real estate is in and it is moving behind the scenes. And so we were given a slot, I think the second last slot on the third day in IMT Ghaziabad when I went to recruit on behalf of a multinational firm. And I think as the sector grew and the popularity of real estate grew, 2005, when I was with ICICI Ventures, I remember there were 10 graduates that we could get, I think slot 3, day 1 on IIM Ahmedabad. So it's grown over a period of time. There is a realization, but real estate is cyclical. So no matter how much you're aware of it, I think there still needs to be an understanding that real estate is not about houses alone. It's not about residential real estate.
True.
It is about commercial real estate, retail real estate, warehousing, doing research consulting, being an investment advisor, being an asset manager, facilities manager. So gamut is so large.
Huge, absolutely
that
huge.
I think, and yes, real estate sector probably has done a little to also market itself, and especially on the career side.
I think that's where the sector is to blame. So if you have any queries, call us quickly on these toll-free numbers 011 230 35420 and 1800 5314. It's flashing on your screens. So Sunil, yes, I'll tell you how we'll go about discussing this because it's such a huge sector. Let's talk about the jobs that are absolutely centric to real estate, and then we'll talk about the other support services that are required. I think that would be a good way to divide. What do you think?
Sure. I think that's an excellent way to go about things. When you look at real estate, what is real estate? Real estate is really getting land together, developing it, and then managing it. So the jobs which are very, very core to real estate are, especially marketing, finance, project management, doing these studies to decide what you have to, which is research and consulting, and when the building is made, it has to be maintained, facilities management. So I think if you look at the top, careers in demand, they revolve around these, disciplines. And there is services, therefore. So services can be classified into three components: research, consulting, valuation. Each very, very diverse bucket, very related bucket. And valuation can be very exciting and challenging. A lot of people will not know when there was this company called VSNL, which was being sold by the government. The bid difference between the Tatas and Ambanis was 86 crores, and that was exactly the difference between the real estate valuations of two companies. I happened to be valuing for Tatas and they won the bid. So it was the real estate that made a difference. So very exciting career in valuations. You travel the world, you see a lot of different cities. I can drive myself in 60 cities without getting lost, no GPS in the car. So it gives you a lot of opportunity. Consulting, again, very highly respected, because everybody is building. People don't know what to build, when to build, where to build, and therefore exactly that's an interesting domain. No research at all in this industry, very few research firms. So if you have to look at and do consulting, what data to analyze, and then there is this whole .com ventures that have started coming in, capturing data of various forms, and therefore you see a lot of growth in the services sector. Then we come to when the building is being made or the project is being delivered, you have management services, so you have project management. India has had capital inflows. India had a lot of brains which did a lot of exciting project development. Who's going to execute it? So I think there is this huge gap of professional who can stick to the ground, roll up the sleeves, feels happy with the sweat coming on, and delivers projects. And that's again
Sunil,
a huge
can I
area.
just stop you here?
Sure.
There's a caller waiting on the line
Sure.
from Punjab.
Absolutely.
And Negiji from Punjab, welcome to Career Cafe.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Hello, good evening.
Ma'am, my question is that I'm doing Indian Finance from Army College.
Uh-huh.
So I want to know in what kind of job there is for me in real estate in that sector.
You are in the armed forces.
No, there's a college run by the armed
It's just a college run by armed forces. You're not in the armed forces. Okay.
No.
Okay.
So I'm doing Indian Finance, so what options I have in the real estate?
Great question.
I think MBA finance guys have a very direct correlation in real estate. So first of all, there is this housing industry which is still in demand. People still need houses, and there are banks which finance these purchase of houses. So very direct association is you can go into a mortgage company which is providing loans. You become an assessor of the credit, whether there is a risk in a profile of a person who is coming to take the loan. Then these banks also lend to developers for construction finance.
Yes.
So when you go, and an MBA finance would really assess the risk involved in financing some of these developers' projects.
So would he need to do something additional in risk management or something?
I think a lot of generalist MBAs are focused towards manufacturing sector.
Right.
And there is a need to understand the built environment space. Therefore, there is a specialization built around, but very direct in MBA finance getting into mortgage, banking and construction finance is possible. The only thing is that over a period of time you learn, and that is where we in our school hone up skills around built environment. So you understand concepts like FSI, you understand what is the process of development, where the risk could lie, etc. So it's a specialized discipline, but an MBA general finance can look towards that exciting
So maybe
career.
what he can do is that while he's completing his MBA finance, if he were to, are there courses available which would bridge the gap?
Yes, so we do offer online courses, Praveen.
Oh, you do?
Which are in valuations, which are in project management, and it will be very helpful for the gentleman to do a course in valuation because it will teach how to address the basic question.
Oh, wonderful. So if I think armed with this dual qualification, he should be ready to
He should be ready to hit the market
road.
and really get a good employment with the finance industry around financing of real estate.
Super. We have yet another caller, Vaishali. Welcome to Career Cafe.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I'm planning for MBA with HR field. Ma'am, hello?
MBA with?
From HR field.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, I wanted to know, is there any scope in real estate when I complete my MBA with this HR field? Or should I opt for any other extra diploma courses or something else?
Look, I think if she's looking at HR, she should look at the large companies. I mean, any company that hires more than 100 people, you know, and then the large real estate firms do. I mean, they hire people in thousands. So isn't that what she'd look at?
Yeah, I think, Vaishali, you can look for an exciting career in a large developing company, a large developer, because a lot of developers have scaled up in the last 5-7 years. Now, with that scaling up, what has happened is that the HR practices have been put on a back burner. And you know, you see a bright kid, you offer, and so it was, you know, a wild, wild west industry. And also, there is a huge demand for HR professionals because this industry, Praveen, has very diverse nature of professionals. You have
right,
a finance
from the bricklayer
guy,
to the
bricklayer, to the CEO who flies, you know, business class, goes to LA or New York, does his private equity deals, and then there is this engineer who's spent 30 years in, you know, soil and sweat. And so he brings a very different, so there is this execution professional, there is this finance professional, there is this consulting professional, marketing guys. They live by the day. We make a deal, we make money. That's the only thing that, so it's very, very diverse HR. And one of the challenges I had managing a company was that these were different companies. I was not managing one real estate company. There were people with different mindsets. And therefore, we had a wonderful lady who understood and said, probably we need to separate even the offices because the moment there's, you know, marketing guys do a party and the other serious guys are disturbed.
Guys, right.
So there's no, so it's such an exciting career. The only thing I would just caution here is that HR being itself very diverse, even if you get a career which is outside real estate and then you develop, hone your skills
and then
come back to real estate, because real estate itself, there's a lot of clean slate at this point in time.
So you can always,
come in. Contribute back into real estate. Probably real estate will appreciate at that point in time much better. But there are firms like Godrej, the Tatas, the you know, Adanis, DLFs of the world. Brilliant careers, much more than just recruiting.
Yes.
Because what classically you understand
in
of
HR
that
is just
headhunting, negotiate the guy down and then put him on the job. No, I think real estate is now gearing up to hire professionals who have the ability to run a company, who understand their role in the company, and I think that's where HR plays a big
and show
part.
them a career path.
Absolutely.
No?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So wonderful. Vaishali, I hope you found your answer. We'll take a short break here, but when we return, we'll continue to look at the outlook and prospects in this field and also continue taking all your queries. So stay right there. Welcome back to Career Cafe. We're looking at careers in real estate, and with us is Dr. SunilAgarwal, Associate Dean and Director, School of Real Estate, RICS School of Built Environment. Big title. Sunil, during the break we were talking about some of the opportunities that are available to young people in large numbers. Right. What are those?
Primarily, if you look at the building cost cycle, 85% of what you spend is really running and maintaining a building, and 15% is what you buy the building for. So
that includes the land
and the building and the construction.
Really?
But then there is, you know, you spend every month on electricity, on, you know, cleaning, facade, repairs, etc. Now that's a larger cost. Parliament House, where we are sitting, was constructed 100 years ago. And if you look at how much money has been spent on repair and maintenance, and even the building that we are in is, I think, much more than the money that was spent probably in making this Parliament House. So to all our viewers, I just want to say that there is a very exciting career called facilities management. And it's not about, you know, often I hear this term called jhadu pocha lagane ke liye. So it's not about only cleaning and, you know, maintaining the buildings, housekeeping. It's about really increasing the value of the building that the occupier is in, and which really means that if a building is well maintained, it attracts more rents. So DLF, when they started to make these buildings, realized this very early on the game, started a company called DLF Services. And Colonel Grover, who was the head there, is now a faculty with us. And he said every time our job was the most challenging, most tough, because he would say the better our buildings are, the more rent we'll get. So it's about understanding the electric supply in the building, about the plumbing, which you call HVAC, which is air conditioning. And then you're trying to basically see leasing, how leasing is managed, Some companies do not want to hire these days accountants and security personnel and secretaries, and they don't want to have their transportation fleet. It's all about managing those.
So this is outsourced, is
This
it?
is all outsourced to a facilities manager who says, here is a wonderful building, guys, bring your suitcase and it's plug and play
Ready to.
office. And so that concept is catching on. Companies globally do not want to own assets. So, and India, you've just kind of scratched the surface. And even in residential areas, I mean, how many colonies and how many buildings have professional management of services?
Absolutely.
So that's one big, large area, very exciting area. And for adding the spice to the whole thing, I always tell my students that if you really aspire to be big, this facilities management transcends into what is called corporate real estate management. And the head of the real estate in Standard Chartered Bank India was paid more than the CEO of the bank. Because
What are you saying?
Absolutely. Because if you look at even HSBC, where I used to head the real estate department, we had a budget of 220 crores, slashed down to 180 crores. So we were making actually 40 crores a year for the bank. The bank that time and we were like a team of 7, 8, 10, 9 people. And the bank had maybe 5,000 people, and their bottom line was 122 crores. So if 5,000 people make 122 crores and there are 10 people who make 40 crores, who should be paid more? So, and the real estate heads of Amazon, Hyatt Hotels, and very large corporations can't even travel on a regular flight. So they get this thing called their personal planes and charters and everything. So,
that also comes within this?
Within this. So, it's a very, very exciting corporate real estate career. People can go surf the net, and that's one real big excitement area of growth I see. The other is obviously everybody can give you gyan, everybody can do the report, everybody can do everything in life. Even the money has come into India. Where are the projects? Why
How
the
do you
delays?
execute?
Because even the biggest builder called DLF had 6 million square feet under the belt in 2006. Then they wanted to ramp up 6 million every year, which is when the IPO came. And who's going to do it? Are there professionals who can do it? Can you deliver on time? Can you deliver within cost? Because real estate market was booming in last so many years, there were a lot of inefficiencies hidden within the cost cycle of a project. And so your inefficiencies were buried because the cost went up, the pricing went up. You said, okay, 20% over cost, who cares? But today, that 20% will finish the project. So the whole focus today is project management, facilities management. So it's about managing. I think as we're moving into 22nd century, 21st century is, pretty much, we are into thick of things, and we'll... The opportunity to create...
So please tell us, I mean, say project management, who should be looking at a field like project management? Somebody with an engineering
Civil engineering experience, absolutely. That's one kind of, expertise. The second is that a lot of people should be looking at costing side of things, because project management is one discipline. Somebody has to say that if you're taking a decision, Mr. X, which is project manager, here is the cost implication. And that is a whole new exciting field called costing services. So we have a program in CEQS, and that is again a science and an art, but that's not understood too much in the country. There are a lot of foreign firms doing great business, but there is still a local, cost consulting firm which is still to grow big. And globally...
So who would, so again, a project management degree or course would teach you this, is it?
So
And
project
so would,
management is separate, costing is separate.
Oh, costing is separate.
Completely separate.
Completely. So you would do what? A cost management
You would do
kind
a
of
cost management, you would do estimation and costing, you would use sophisticated softwares to estimate what is the cost of the project.
And the time.
And the time.
And the time.
So you would just, build all that into a project, and then the project can be executed in the right
Because a little overrun can just throw the whole thing out of gear.
Always the problem is the project manager will say to you, sir, 200 रुपए फुट ज़्यादा हो गया. The marketing वाला will say, sir, इतना और कर दो तो मैं 200 रुपए ज़्यादा बेच दूंगा, otherwise 200 रुपए कम हो गया. So like 400 rupees gone out of the project, you're finished. There's no money in the game anymore. So that is, when the markets are down, those are the skill sets which are in demand, high demand. So project management, CEQS, facilities management.
What is CEQS?
This is costing, and this is exactly the science that I was talking, that you will make a decision and you will not know how to cost it. You go to an architect, what does it cost to make this building? 2,000 rupees a foot. Is it 1,800? Is it 2,100?
It's all approximate.
It's very approximate, very incremental.
We have a caller,
Sure.
Sunil, from West Bengal. Welcome to Career Cafe. Hello.
हेलो मैम.
हेलो. जरा आप वॉल्यूम टोन डाउन कर देंगे टीवी का तो रिवर्ब नहीं आएगा.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
My question to you is that how I can approach a career in मतलब real estate.
What is your present background?
My present background is BCom and I am doing graduate in that.
Or you are doing your bachelor's in commerce. Okay. So he is just a fresher. Now, for a commerce graduate, what would you suggest?
So I would suggest that he should go for a MBA program in real estate, because real estate has a very diverse, offering. So project management has a great offering, except that your choices are 3 or 4. So you would be a project head, you would be into the site supervision, you will be into the consulting side. So yes, there are 4 or 5 very well-defined career ways, but real estate could open 15 or 20. And for a commerce graduate, it will make much more sense to get into real estate. Also, we have a program on infrastructure management. So as a BCom out of the college, he could also look at infrastructure management, because I think the larger infrastructure development will drive real estate.
That will not require a technical background?
It will require some bit of understanding, but I think so I became a civil engineer, realizing that engineers know their job very well, but there's also something called a financial engineer, who can look at elements of various flows of cash and can really understand what's happening. So with a little bit of interest, you can actually, and it's not rocket science. Real estate is not rocket science. We are not dealing with complex equations. It's common sense. And at the end of the day, if you have common sense, you will appreciate that a lot of developers who actually have developed very large projects were probably not as educated. There was no degree in real estate.
Absolutely.
And
Even today.
So why is it that a BCom graduate and exciting career opportunity cannot grab this up?
Bilkul, perfect, absolutely. And what about the other things, before we wind up, say valuers, assessors, there are certifications available for this, no?
Yes.
Could you briefly tell us about those?
So if you choose to be a valuer, you have to actually be with a valuation firm, and there is a huge demand for valuation. In fact, we get the largest number of people placed in valuation assessment business. You need to be savvy on the field and some bit of structured approach to looking at what is happening in the market and then trying to assess a value. So we do not run a certification course in valuation. We offer a valuation course, as I said before.
But do you need a certification to be a valuer?
So you need a Government of India license, which is called 34AB, to become a practicing valuer. However, RICS as a qualification is recognized by the banks. So the Banks Association recognizes RICS as a qualification. And so if you are a valuer who's got 5 years of experience, you actually can start valuation with a bank. You can go apply as a valuer license. The other thing is, real estate is very entrepreneurial. So it's not necessary that you get out of college and start into a job. You could do a job, but this is one place where a mobile phone and a laptop in your room can actually get you kicking. So it's also that we train a lot of entrepreneurial skills. In fact, I have a subject on entrepreneurial skills, that why should we be subservient to anybody?
Absolutely.
If you're
Why
bright,
not
young,
create jobs?
Why not create jobs?
Instead.
So you look at the most successful people in real estate, they have been job creators. So that's another option. Young, in fact, our first batch passed out, and there's a set of 4 or 5 kids who formed a company, and they said, we will not work, and they were the brightest kids in the class.
Okay. So on that very, very happy note, we'll wind up today's show here. Thank you so much, Sunil, for coming and telling us about all these opportunities. Even I, as a counselor, didn't know about them. Do send us your feedback and suggestions at careercafe@gmail.com. Next week on Career Cafe, we'll look at yet another super career. But before that, let me leave you with a quote from Helen Keller. When one door closes, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we don't see the one that's been opened for us. So bye for now, keep your eyes open and be your best.